Hey there, I'm RB Bass Angler Rick Novotny. Wanted to talk to you about some different tackle and some different techniques. I'm out here in the garage right now just re-rigging some rods, putting some things away from my last trip out. But what I wanted to talk to you specifically is about the float and fly. If you haven't been out with the float and fly or never used it, never seen the technique, I'm not going to show you the technique. There's plenty of videos about that. I wanted to talk to you about something that's a little bit different. So when most people see float and fly or hear float and fly, this is the type of jig head or jig that they're putting on that float and fly or fly, whatever you want to call it. This one happens to be a custom tied jig that I bought back east. Pretty cool jig, great color, great action. But this is what I've been doing different. And so this is my setup. This is a Dobbins Sierra series. This is a STP 791 SF. If you look this up, this is a trout / panfish rod. Super light, 1 power. I've got typically 4 or 6 pound test. This has got 6 on it right now. This is what I'm running. But here's the big difference. So the whole setup, the knots, the bobber, all that, totally identical to the normal float and fly stuff. But this is the Optimum Baits 3-inch Victory Tail. And this one happens to be, the color is Crusher Shad from SoCal Crusher. This is a color he came up with. It's a great option. Good, minnow / shad color. But this is just, and I don't even know what company these are, but the jig head, it's an 1/8 ounce. It's a size 1 hook, so it balances really well. And if you put a regular jig on here, this will sit flat. When I first saw this, I was like, it doesn't sit right. But when you get in the water, the buoyancy of the bait actually holds it perfectly flat in the water. You get a lot of flopping of the tail and just a lot of really good action with it. So let me show you. These are the baits. Again, they're made by Optimum Baits, and this is the 3-inch Victory Tail. And this one, the color is just shad. It's the number 500 shad, which looks like this. Unfortunately, I don't have any more of the Crusher Shad. I might have some buried in the boat, but I haven't found them yet. But this is a really great color as well. So that shad color, they have a ton of different colors. You can go on to OptimumBaits.com, see what colors they have. Also, Tackle Warehouse stocks these, so that's a great place to get them. The jig heads, just a generic size 1, 1/8 ounce jig head is what I'm using. And on those days when the fishing's a little tougher, or when they're suspended, post front is kind of a great time to go out and catch fish on the float and fly. It really, really works. I use my graphs to find out where those fish are sitting. You can come through with your side scan or with a down scan, or you could use the forward facing, see what area in the water they're sitting, set your bobber stop for that depth. And I'm just casting it out there and letting it sit for a second, giving that rod a little bit of wiggle, and then reeling it back up, throwing it out again, letting it sit, give it a little bit of wiggle. And that Victory Tail has just plain been putting fish in the boat, showing those fish something a little bit different than they see all the time. There are a lot of people that float and fly, but this makes it a little bit different. So if you haven't tried it yet, give it a shot. It's a small investment. The baits aren't very expensive. They come in a 6-pack. What I've been doing with them is putting a little bit of a drop of super glue on there to keep the bait on the hook, to make sure they're stay on there really well. And that Victory Tail that I showed you initially, that's got like 20 catches on it, so they're tough, but they're plenty soft enough that you get good action with them. So anyway, if you haven't tried the Victory Tail, go out to Tackle Warehouse, order yourself a couple packs. And like I said, I like the shad colors, but there's also one called Mint that would be a good option. A little bit of chartreuse line in it. There's Money that's like a pearl white. There's that Crusher Shad. There's, like I said, a bunch of different colors. Go on and check them out. And hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.